Good morning, students. Welcome back to the course of Concurrent and Parallel Programming. This video is brought to you by Newton's Group of Institutions, Macharla. This is Arvind Egireddy from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today, let us discuss few of the topics of sorting techniques in parallel algorithms. So here we see what are parallel algorithms, what are its abilities, why we have to go for parallel computing and different sorting parallel algorithms and the limitations of parallel algorithms. So what are parallel algorithms? Parallel algorithms are concurrent algorithms as opposed to a traditional sequence algorithm, which is an algorithm which can be executed as a piece at a time on many different processing devices and then combined together again at the end to get a correct result. So we can say like this, a parallel algorithm is an algorithm that has been specially written for execution on a computer with two or more processors. But it can be run on computers with a single processor or with multiple functional units or with pipelined functional units or with pipelined memory systems. So what makes these parallel algorithms better? So what are its abilities? It is nothing but throughput and latency, where throughput is the number of operations that can be done per unit time and latency is the time needed to complete one operation. So here let us understand this throughput and latency with a small example. Suppose we have two vehicles, a car that can carry two persons with an average speed of 200 kilometers per hour and a bus that can carry 40 persons with a speed of 50 kilometers per hour. Now we have to find the latency and throughput if they both used to carry a group of people for a distance of 4,500 kilometers. So for car, the latency is 4,500 kilometers by 200 kilometers per hour, which is 22.5. And the throughput is 0.089. Whereas for the bus, the latency is 4,500 kilometers by 50 kilometers per hour, which is 90. And the throughput is 0.45. So we can use parallelism to increase the throughput by using large number of lower clocked processing units. And this is well suited for computation intensive applications. Example of these applications where we will be using is we are going to use in image processing where we have large number of calculations. And also we can use it in latency sensitive applications. So I mean when latency sensitive applications, these are the applications which need faster response. Example, Windows applications with many parts running together at the same time. So in this case, we use more powerful processing units such as Intel Core i7 processor or something like that. So here the throughput and latency, they are often contradictory. Okay, now why we have to go for parallel computing? Why parallel computing? Because the real world is massively parallel. So in the real-time applications, we have many complex interrelated events that are happening at the same time. Of course, act with a temporal sequence. So compared to serial computing, parallel computing is much better suited for the modeling, simulation, and understanding complex and real-world phenomena. That's why we have to go for parallel computing. And the other advantage is it saves time and our money. So here, in theory, throwing more resource at a task will shorten its time to completion, but of course with potential cost saving. So here, parallel computers can be built from cheap commodity components. That is the second reason. And the third reason is they solve larger and more complex problems. So here many problems are so large and are so complex that are impractical or impossible to solve them on a single computer, if especially given limited computer memory. So in such cases, we can go for this parallel computing. The best example what we can give here is web search engines or database processing, which process millions of transactions per the second. And the fourth advantage is they take advantage on non-local resources. So using compute resource on a wide area network or even with the internet when local computer resources are scarce or insufficient. Okay, so now let us see what are the different parallel algorithms we are going to use. As we know that sorting is nothing but it is a process of arranging the elements in a group in a particular order. That is either in the ascending order or descending order or alphabetic order or etc. So here let us discuss a few of the sorting techniques: enumeration sort, odd even transportation sort, parallel merge sort, and hyper quick sort. Of course, there are many more sorting techniques, but for time being, let us discuss about these four different sorting techniques. So here, sorting a list of elements is very common operation. So a sequential sorting algorithms may not be that much efficient enough when we have to sort large and huge volumes of data. Therefore, we have to use parallel algorithms while we have to sort. So let us first discuss about these sorting techniques one by one. Now, first one is enumeration sort. So enumeration sort, which is a method of arranging all the elements in a list by finding the final position of each element in the sorted list. And this can be done by comparing each element with all other elements and finding the number of elements having smaller value. Therefore, any two elements, AI and AJ, any one of the following case can be true, whether AI is less than AJ or AI greater than AJ or AI is equal to AJ. So here we need to understand that before sorting, in enumeration sort method, we have to arrange all the elements in the list by finding the final position of each element. So first we have to find the final position. And how to find this final position? It is being done by comparing each element with all the other elements. So here let us go with an example before looking into the algorithm. So here the example is, suppose let us consider an unsorted elements where A is equal to 3, 2, 7, 8, 5, 6, 4, and 1. So now what we have to do? We have to find out the position. So for finding out the position, we have to compare each element with all the other elements. So here we have to find the position. So we have to compare 3 with all the elements, 2 with all the elements. So first let us compare 3 with all the elements. So let me check whether 3 is less than 3, 3 less than 2, 3 less than 7, 3 less than 8, 3 less than 5, 3 less than 6, 3 less than 4, 3 less than 1. So is 3 less than 3? No. So it is false. So value is 0. 3 less than 2, false, 0. 3 less than 7, it is 1. 3 less than 8, true, therefore value is 1. 3 less than 5, true, therefore the value is 1. 3 less than 6, the value is 1. 3 less than 4, the value is true, 1. 3 less than 1, the value is 0. So if we write, it is 0, 0, 1, 1. So how many ones we have? We have 5 ones. So here the position of 3 is 5th position. Now in the similar fashion, we have to compare 2 with all these elements. So we have to compare 2 with 3, 2 with 2, 2 with 7, 2 with 8, 2 with 5, 2 with 6, 2 with 4, and 2 with 1. So we have to see whether 2 is less than 3 or not. So is 2 less than 3? No. So the value will be 0. 2 less than 2? No, the value will be 0. 2 less than 7? Yes, 1. 2 less than 8? 1. 2 less than 5? 1. 2 less than 6? 1. 2 less than 4? 1. 2 less than 1? 0. So here if you count the number of ones, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the position of 2 is 6. Now the same fashion we have to compare 7 with all the elements. So 7 less than 3, 7 less than 2, 7 less than 7, 7 less than 8, 7 less than 5, 7 less than 6, 7 less than 4, and 7 less than 1. So when we compare, the values will be 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. So except 7 is less than 8, this is true. Remaining all the cases, it is false. So the position of 7 is 1. Similarly, 8. So here 8, all the cases are false. So 8 is not less than 3, 8 is not less than 2, 8 is not less than 7, 8 is not less than 8, 8 is not less than 5, 8 is not less than 6, 8 is not less than 4, 8 is not less than 1. So all zeros. So the position of 8 is 0. No ones. Similarly, for 5, we can say 5 less than 3, which is 0, 5 less than 2, 0, 5 less than 7, 1, true, 5 less than 8, true, 5 less than 5, false, 5 less than 6, true, 5 less than 4, true, false, 5 less than 1, false. So 3 ones. So the position of 5 is 3. Similarly, the position of 6 is, so if you can write, the position of 6 is 2, and position of 4 is, when we compare with all the other elements, it is, we have 4 ones, so 4 times it is true. So the position of 4 is 4, and coming to the position of 1, so 1 less than 3, 1 less than 2, 1 less than 7, 1 less than 8, 1 less than 5, 1 less than 6, 1 less than 4. All these cases are true except 1 less than 1. So here, except this, so number of ones is 7. So the position of 1 is 7. Now, based on these positions, we have to arrange them in an array. So A is an array. So when we arrange them in an array, so A of 0. So at 0th position, what we have? 8. So we have to fill it with 8. At position 1, we have 7. So we have to fill it with 7. At position 2, so second position, we have value 6. So we have to fill it with 6. At position 3, we have the value 5. So 5. At position 4, fourth position, we have 4 only. So 4. At position 5, fifth position, we have 3. So here we have to fill with 3. And at sixth position, we have 2. So 2. And at seventh position, so if here clearly you can see at seventh position, it is 1. So we have to fill it with 1. So now my array is in the sorted order. So this is how we are going to do the enumeration sort. So in enumeration sort, what we have to do is we have to find out the position of each element in the sorted list. And this can be done by comparing each element with all the other elements and then finding the number of elements that have the smaller value. Understood? So now let us see the algorithm for this enumeration sort. So this is the small algorithm program which is written in an Pascal programming language. So here procedure enum sorting of n begin, and here you can see end of enumeration sorting. So for each process P1j do C of j is equal to 0. Say for each process initially we are assigning the value with 0. Then for each process Pij we are doing, we're checking whether if ai is less than aj or ai is equal to aj and I less than j, then we are making cj value to 1, else the cj value will be 0. If we are not going to write this else also no problem, because initially itself all process p1i we are making it to 0. So for each process p1i do c of ij, so we are filling it with the sorted array. So this is the enumeration sort. Now let us see the second sorting technique, that is odd even transportation sort. So here in odd even transportation sort, this is based on the bubble sort technique. So here what we do is we compare two adjacent number and switch them. If the first number is greater than the second number, to get an ascending order list. And the opposite case applies for the descending order list. So here in odd even transportation sort operates in two phases. One is odd phase and the other one is an even phase. So in both the phases, the processes, they exchange numbers with their adjacent numbers in the right. So what we do, we are going to adjust the numbers to the right. So adjacent number in the right. So whatever, whether it may be an odd process or the even process. So before going into the algorithm, let us see with the same example, that is unsorted elements 3, 2, 7, 8, 5, 6, 4, 1. So here we have 8 elements, and using an odd even transportation sort algorithm. So here during this phase, we have to undergo 8 phases, because my n value is 8. We have 8 elements. So 8 times here the we have to do comparisons, odd even. So here let us see. So here 3, 2, 7, 8, 5, 6, 4, 1. These are the unsorted elements. Now we have to go with an odd phase. So in odd phase, see, this is the first element. This is the third element. This is the fifth element, sixth element. So first element's the right element we have to compare. Third element's the right element. Fifth element's the right element. Seventh element's the right element. So it is 3, 2. So 3 is greater than 2. What we have to do? We have to swap. So 2, 3. 7 is less than 8, not greater than 8. So we have to keep it as it is, 7, 8. 5 is less than 6, not greater than 6. So we have to keep it as it is, 5, 6. 4 is greater than 1. So here again we have to swap, 1 is 4. So my phase 1 odd trans. So now we have to go with the even. So in the even transportation phase, see, this is the second element. So second right, then fourth right, then sixth right, sixth element, right element. So we are comparing 3 with 7. So 3 is smaller than 7. So there is no need of sorting. 8 is greater than 5. So we have to sort 5 and 8. 6 is greater than 1. So we have to sort. Now this 2 and 4, we have to drop it as it is. Now phase 2 is complete. Now we have to go with the odd phase. So we have to go with odd elements. That is first element, third element, fifth element, and sixth element. We have to compare first element with second element, third element with fourth element, fifth element with the sixth element, seventh element with the eighth element, because these are the right side elements. So now 2 is less than 3, true. So 2, 3 will be like this. 7 is greater than 5. So we have to swap them, 5, 7. 8 is greater than 1. So it is 1, 8. 6 is greater than 4. So it is 4, 6. So my phase 3 is complete. So we have to go for phase 4. In phase 4, again, we have to do even comparisons. So here 3 is compared with 5. 3 is less than 5. So no need of swapping. 7 is greater than 1. So we have to swap. 8 is greater than 4. We have to swap. Now we have to drop these 2 and 6 as it is. Now we have to go with phase 5. In phase 5, we have to go, since the previous phase we have done even. So now we have to go odd. So 2 is compared with 3. 2 is less than 3. So no need of swapping. 5 is greater than 1. So we have to swap. 7 is greater than 4. So we have to swap 4 with 7. 8 is greater than 6. So we have to swap 6 and 8. Now we have to go with the odd phase. So here in sixth phase, we are going, we have to go with even phase. So 3 is compared with 1. 3 is greater than 1. So swapping. 5 is greater than 4. Swapping. 7 is greater than 6. So swapping, and bring down this 2 and 8 as it is. Now after even phase, we have to, in the seventh phase, we have to go for odd phase. So here 2 is compared with 1. So 2 is greater than 1. So 1, 2. 3 less than 4, no need of swapping. 5 less than 6, no need of swapping. 7 less than 8, no need of swapping. So now if you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. already in the sorted order, but this algorithm we have to go n phases because we have n elements. So even though it is sorted, but you have to go for phase 8 also, that is even phase. So now 2, 3, no need of sorting. So 2 will be there and 3 will be there. 4, 5, no need of swapping. 6, 7, no need of swapping. So 1 and 8 we will bring down. So this is the sorted order. So this is the technique what we are going to use in odd even transportation sort. Now this let us see the algorithm for odd even transportation sort. So here the procedure odd even pair having one argument, begin and end of odd even pair. So for we are initializing an ID, one variable with the process label, and for I is equal to 1 to n we are beginning. If I is odd and ID is odd, then we are compare exchange the minimum value of ID plus 1, else we are calling this function compare exchange max of ID minus 1. If I is even and ID is even, then we are compare exchanging minimum value with ID plus 1, else we are compare exchanging max function with ID minus 1 as the parameter. And so this is the algorithm. So if you write a program for that, so here for odd even sort, for int I is equal to 0, I less than n plus I. So for I and 1, so if I and 1, so if I is 1 and the 1 and 1 is 1, so the condition will go here, else it will go here. So here initially the first I is equal to 0, so first odd. So here int j, so here we are swapping. So this is for odd elements and this is for even elements. So this is the algorithm program for odd even transportation sort. Now let us go with the third, that is parallel merge sort. So here in parallel merge sort, first merge sort first divides the unsorted list into smaller possible sublists. Then it will compare it with the adjacent list and merge it at, in a sorted order. So first what it is doing, it is dividing the unsorted list into smaller possible sublists. First division is being done. Then it will compare with its adjacent list. Then it is going to merge. So it implements parallelism very nicely by following the divide and conquer algorithm. So here it is following the algorithm divide and conquer algorithm. So here let us go with the same example. So if we have an unsorted elements 3, 2, 7, 8, 5, 6, 4, 1. So here how we are going to apply this for this is see here we are dividing, partitioning. So here we have 8 elements, so we are partitioning it into 2 parts with 4 elements each. Then these 4 elements we are dividing into 2 parts with the 2 elements each. These 4 elements we are dividing into 2 parts each. Then each we are dividing it into single parts. Now the division is complete. Now what we have to do is we have to compare 3 with 2. And then once after comparison, we have to sort them and merge them. So 3, 2 is merged to 2, 3. 7, 8 is merged to 7, 8. 7 is smaller than 8. So 7, 8 will be same. 5, 6 will be, but 1, 4. So 4 is greater than 1. So here 1, 4. So here it is 2, 3 and here it is 1, 4. Again, now we have to compare these two and these two. So now again, while comparison, we will get 4 elements, 4 elements. So here 2, 3, 7, 8 already in sorted order. So 2, 3, 7, 8. But here this 1, 4 and 5, 6, we have to sort and write it like this. Next, all that these two we compare. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So as the sorted order will be like this. So this is how we are going to write it in parallel merge sort. And the procedure for this parallel merge sort is procedure parallel merge sort is having 4 arguments and we are executing like this. So this is how we can use parallel merge sort. And the fourth is a hyperquick sort. So in hyperquick sort, which is an implementation of quicksort on Hypercube. And its steps are as follows. We have to divide the unsorted list among each node. Then we have to sort each node locally. Then from node 0, we have to broadcast the median value. And then again, we have to split each list locally. Then we have to exchange the halves across the highest dimension. So like this, we have to repeat the step 3 and step 4 in parallel until the dimensions reach 0. So here, let us see with the again with the same, of course, with a different example. So suppose if we have 16 unsorted elements like this, say. So now these 16 unsorted elements can be so here we have 16 unsorted elements. Let me explain you this. This is not functioning properly. Okay, anyway, no problem. So here we have elements 16, 9, 12, 8, 4, 2, 6, 14, 15, 10, 5, 17, 3, 11, 7, 3, dividing into two halves. So we have partitioned into two parts. Now what we are doing is we are locally sorting these elements. So here 16 and this element locally I have sorted to 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 12, 14 and 16. And this one I have sorted. Now I have find out the median. So now I get the median somewhere around 9. So these three elements I am what I am doing is I am swapping. So my 3, 5, 7 comes this side and 12, 14, 16 comes this side. Now again, once after coming, again I am partitioning it into two halves. So 2, 4, 6, 8 and 9, 3, 5, 7, 12, 4, 16, 10 and 11, 13, 12, 17. Now again, what we have to do is we have to do locally, we have to sort. So 2, 4, 6, 8 is already sorted. 9, 3, 5, 7, I am locally sorting. 12, 14, 16, 10, which is again I am sorting. 11, 13, 15, 17 already sorted. So that the thing I am writing, again I will calculate the median. So here, once I calculate the median, I will see these two elements, swap these two elements with this one, 6 and 8. So here 3, 5 will come this side and 6, 8 will go here. 14, 16 will come this side and 11, 13 will go this side. Again, what we have to do is this one internally, what we have to do is we have to sort the elements. So 2, 4, 3, 5 I have sorted, 6, 8, 7, 9 I have sorted, 10, 11, 10, 12, 11, 13 I sorted, 14, 16, 15, 17 I sorted. Finally, this is the sorted list we got. So this is how we are going to do the hyperquick sort. So, and this is the algorithm what we are going to use for hyperquick sort. I hope with this example, you understood the implementation of quick sort. Okay, see, please go through this video. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for the latest notifications. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.